That was careless.
Hello and welcome to episode 24. If you remember from last episode, I needed 49 more Mercer spheres. You saw in the time lapse me collect a whole bunch. I also got some sloops and a ton of slugs. I wasn't going for 49. I needed like 10 or 15, but then I kind of got close to having the 23 for... Let me get in here. So I needed 23 for this one, 23 for this one, and then I needed 3 for this one. So I kind of got close to the 23 and I'm like, oh, I could do one of these. And I'm like, well, but then I still need like another 10 so I can make sure I can make some. And then I got some more and some more. And then I was close to the 46. So then I just went for the 46, well, the 49. And at one point in the time lapse, I come over here and I got the upload one, this one, just so I could upload stuff from my inventory because it made it quicker when I was out there. So I got to the 49 number and then I kept going because I wanted, I've got 64 now. So that'll get me all the research and I'll still be able to make a bunch more of them. So we're going to go ahead real quick and we're going to unlock these last two. So this one's going to give us 240 a minute upload. Oops. Which will be nice because that's going to double from the 120. This one is going to give us another stack. This one's going to be interesting because this should basically, the moment this unlocks, there's more room for every item and all the items in the factory are going to start going into the dimensional depot all at once. And basically the whole factory is going to turn on. Where's the power line? I'm just curious. The power should kind of spike here at some point. Yeah, it's kind of shooting its way up.
Dimensional expansion finalized to 500%. Despite further efforts, parts could not be broken down further than their elementary particles, nor could the storage become more dense without the particles spontaneously reacting with one another and losing their deconfined state. Yet somehow more matter can now be stored in the same dimension.
We sang our growth song because we like your shallow efforts. Up and down are a shallow illusion, up and down disappear in the deep.
That is very thoughtful, I think. I appreciate the attempts at sharing scientific knowledge, however perhaps we should wait until we have a more optimal way of exchanging data.
So I did, once I kind of got done, on my way back, I switched the scanner to summer sloops and started getting some. The other thing you might have seen in the time lapse, as I was exploring, because we put a radar tower down, where is it, right here, and as I was exploring, I was getting to these other high points and I was like, oh, that's a good spot for a radar tower. But, I'm not going to run power lines all the way out there and put all these random towers. But I thought, wait a minute, I could just throw one down real quick, right? I can just go in, drop a radar tower down, and it takes exactly 30 megawatts, which is what one burner takes. I've dropped the burner down, connect them together with power. The biomass burner will burn the liquid biofuel. And it only takes one to power the thing up. And so as I was going around, I just kept dropping towers down. Yeah, I got a little too, I was kind of dropping tower here and a tower there. So I pretty much got this all good down into here. We've got this all unlocked to the coast. There's, technically some more water right there that didn't quite get unlocked. There's that little bit there. And we got all this unlocked. Because I think that's, there's a tiny bit in there and just water out there and then all the way down. And then it's just a matter of over here. So we basically have the whole map unlocked at this point. other than just a few little minor spots. So that's nice. And I did find, I kept thinking I'm like, where did I get aluminum before in my old playthrough? Because we ended up here with aluminum. No, it was over here. There's a bunch of aluminum over here because I'm like, I know I built that way. Yeah, so that's where I had done it originally. So anyways, I was just unlocking the map as I was running around. So we got some summer sloops, which is nice. I wasn't even trying to get slugs, but as I saw them, I kept grabbing them. Look at that, 34 purples, 26 yellow, 31 blue. I was pretty much ignoring the blues. I would grab the yellow if I was right there, but I was grabbing the purples. If we run that through a constructor with a summer sloop, that's 340 more power shards. Yeah. So, and I already have like 344 of them. So I do want to make a change upstairs. Oh, the other thing too is the remains. Obviously, there were quite a few things I had to take care of while I was out there. So I had talked about when we were building that area upstairs in the last episode about whether I wanted to do the remains, because I would need 4 constructors to turn each one of those into the DNA, and then the DNA into biomass, and then into the solid biofuel and such and such. And I thought, oh, I don't need to do that. I'll just probably turn these into tickets. Well, I've got almost everything unlocked, and we're still getting tickets because I think I have like another 15 or something, 18. Yeah, so I've got another 18. So we're getting close to kind of having everything unlocked. So I don't think I really need to turn the remains into tickets at this point. I think we can just sit back and passively get tickets. So I do want to change that area upstairs, and I want to add, right now it can take wood, leaves, biomass, and solid biofuel. I want to add these 4 remains to it so it can process all those into liquid biofuel. And I also, in that bay, I want to do the power slugs, right? I want to set that up so that my little conveyor, my little storage container down here with my sushi belt that goes up there, I want it to be able to take all the power slugs. I want it to take the wood and the leaves, and I want it to take all the remains, and I can just throw it all in. It all goes up. All of the slugs get turned into power shards, and then everything else gets turned into the liquid biofuel. And I'm just not going to really worry about coupons because I just don't think I need it. So I'm going to go up there real quick, and I'm just going to do the whole thing and then bring you guys back. I should be ready to test the system out. So what I've got in this container, and I disconnect the conveyor for a minute, I've got my purple, yellow, and blue power slugs. I've got the 4 types of remains: hatcher, stinger, hog, and spitter. Those will turn into alien protein. So I've got some of that too. That turns into biomass, I think, and then that turns into solid biofuel. And I've also got some wood and some leaves, which will turn into biomass and solid biofuel. So it's basically every kind of type. Like I expect to send slugs up and the protein types. I don't expect to send the alien protein. I don't expect to send the biomass or the solid biofuel, but I wanted the system to handle it just in case for some reason I've got some, and then I can just throw it all in. So that should be all of it. I'm going to hook this back up, and then upstairs, the belt doesn't go anywhere yet. All right, so this looks kind of complicated. It's not too bad. So the first thing, and it's only because I forgot to add this, so I had to kind of stick it in at the end. The alien protein, any of that comes up is going to get kicked off. We'll come back to that in a second. We have hog remains, hatcher remains, stinger remains, and spitter remains, which is what these 4 smart splitters are for. So any of those remains will get kicked into those containers. Then there's 4 constructors set for those things that'll turn it into all alien protein. I do have summer sloops and everything just because I want to get as much liquid biofuel out of all this as possible. So those 4 remains will turn into proteins. They'll come down, they'll all merge together, and then the protein will go into this container. Any alien protein that comes up by itself will get kicked out here and will come up and will also join in. So all the remains are going to turn into alien protein. And I also made a dimensional depot just for alien protein because I can use it in recipes to make the inhalers. Like 2 of the inhalers can do that. So I wanted to be able to have that option. It's only going to fill up the thing and then this. So yeah, it'll be a bunch, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be like horrible to do that. So that's the first 4. Then down here, we've got wooden leaves. So these will kick off wooden leaves. They'll come out. We've, of course, got the 2 constructors set for wooden leaves. We've got the summer sloops. So they're going to make biomass. And then this one is set for biomass. So any biomass that comes up will get kicked off and go into this container. Then this biomass and those biomass will all join into that container, which is biomass. And it also has a dimensional depot for biomass on top because I can use that in a couple recipes. The alien protein will go into here and it'll turn into biomass. And yeah, like it's going to try to make 3,000 a minute. Like it's fine. It doesn't matter. We don't care if it gets all backed up. That's what all the storage containers are for. So all the alien protein will go into biomass. Everything biomass will end up here. Then it's going to just, I'm stuck. It's going to come out and come around into this one. This is going to make solid biofuel, which is going to go into this container, which also has a dimensional depot because I do need the solid biofuel for the chainsaw. The main line will also kick off any solid biofuel, which will come in, and then it'll just go into that, right? So at this point, the entire process, whether it's the 4 types of alien remains or the protein, wooden leaves, biomass, or solid biofuel, all of it will end up in this container as solid biofuel. It'll come down the line. It's going to go into the refinery, right? And we've got our water line run down here. I did go ahead and put in a big tank just for fun because this thing is trying to make 120 liquid biofuel a minute. And this thing can only make, it can only take 40. And that takes 40 of these. And we're only making 40 empty containers. And I don't really need to speed it up. Like, yeah, the whole thing's going to back up. That's fine. That's why there's so many storage containers. And there's this giant tank here. And when I tore the old process down, I had this because you notice none of the new stuff's gone in. So that's why that tank is full. So then it's all going to go into here. So we're making the solid biofuel, or I'm sorry, we're making the liquid packaged biofuel. I've got 4 containers that go around and then it comes up and then it comes back as 4 containers and then it has the dimensional depot. And the reason I did that, before I tore this down, I already had a full container and I had like 1 or 2 rows, I guess 1 row, maybe a row and a half. And then it's already started making these out of that. We haven't even sent the new stuff in, right? So I want, because this is so slow, we're going to be making huge, crazy amounts of liquid biofuel out of that. But this is going to go so slow. I want it to keep running. I don't want it to fill up. So I wanted enough containers here. That's why I went kind of overboard with it. I want it to all keep running until it all empties out. And then, of course, the line continues down. And then we're going to kick off purple power slugs, yellow power slugs, and blue ones. I just used the little containers. Got the constructors. And, of course, those are summer slooped as well. It's going to make all of our power shards. It's going to go into that container with the dimensional depot for power shards. And if actual power shards come down the line, it's going to kick those off and go into there. And then we just have the unknown one, which as long as I put the right stuff in, nothing should go in there. If anything backs up because we've sent too much, yeah, it'll just back up and it'll sit, but it doesn't really matter. It'll eventually work its way through. So I should just have to come down here and connect this little belt right in here. And like I said, it's so tight because I forgot to add that. And yeah, the first thing's going to be the solid biofuel. So it's going to come down and it's all going to run out of the system and go in there. And it's just going to turn around and start filling that other one up. And that's fine because I only put 2 stacks in, right? So we just got to wait for 400 solid biofuel to go through. I might have just said liquid. I don't know. There's so many different ways. And I colored all the stuff with the liquid biofuel. Basically the color of liquid biofuel. I haven't colored anything else. I could, but I'm like, oh, trying to figure out the color of each thing's a little complicated. So we'll just come back in a second when this runs out. Okay, so now it's doing biomass. And the biomass is getting sent into there. And I didn't put a lot of biomass in, just a tiny bit. So that's going to go in there. And you can see it's going in. It's going into that biomass, which should be, well, it's not going to go up here yet because it's got to back stuff. But that's fine. It will absolutely back stuff once all the alien proteins. Okay, now we've got leaves coming in. And I just went out with a chainsaw for like 30 seconds and just got a little bit of wood and a little bit of leaves just to verify. Yep, so that is making more biomass. Then once the leaves, and I think there was like 500 leaves, so this might take another few seconds. Okay, now the wood's coming in and there's not a lot of wood, so that won't run for very long. And then it should start getting into the alien proteins, and yep, there goes the first one. And I want to point out, I've got 345 power shards because I just want to see what I end up with. I know there's another like 350 just out of purple, but I didn't do the math on the other ones. Okay, and that one, I did not take into account what order these are in. So yeah, it just happened to kind of work out that way. So we're still waiting on this one, and then we're waiting on power slugs. Oh, there was the alien protein, so it bypassed. Now we're waiting on that one. And you can see the proteins are kicking out and going into the same one. Oh, here comes power slugs. And it will, so now that this is starting to fill up, now it's going to start going in there. Like, they will eventually get into the dimensional depots. It's not ideal if you just put a tiny bit in. It's not going to refill the dimensional depots on those, but I don't necessarily care. All right, that should be it. And we don't need storage containers, yeah, because are you going to ever like get 100 or whatever? But just in case, I wanted to try to make it to where this thing doesn't back up. So we'll let that run. We'll come over here. I just want to check. We already know the solid biofuel. So you're making the solid biofuel. So this, oh, because it's all going up right now. And, you know, are we going to need the biomass? I mean, not very often. We can use it to make fabric, and we can use it in gas Nobelisk. So I don't feel like I need to automate it, but I just thought, hey, we'll have 1,000 plus another 200, so that's fine. Same thing with the alien proteins. There's going to be 500 plus another 100 in here, so there'll be 600 of it. And that does represent a lot of the liquid biofuel. Yeah, and you can use it in the protein and therapeutic inhalers. Everything's pretty much in the thing. All right, so I'm just going to let this run for a bit, and I just want to come back when all the power shards are done. I'm not going to wait for all this to run out because, you know, literally back here, where is it? Yeah, so this one's trying to make 3,000 biomass a minute out of 15 protein. Looks like this thing finally finished with the purple power slugs. I never connected this, so I don't even have to figure out the math because it's just right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 498. We got 498. What's that? A Mark III. I don't know why I did that. It doesn't really matter. I only upload it 240 a minute, but it's fine. Yeah, so we got basically 500. We already had 350, so I got 850 power shards coming. Now, I will say, over here, I had more than 100 of the alien remains. It's almost all cleared out. This needs like 3 or 4 more minutes to make biomass. This has got some biomass. You're making the solid biofuel. This guy's got plenty of room. Probably another 5 minutes, and this will all be empty. And the reason it went so fast was because the protein went up. There's 100 here, and then there's 500 more in here. Okay, so that's 600 alien protein. The alien protein, one of them makes 200 biomass. That's 120,000 biomass. The biomass to solid biofuel is 1-to-1, thanks to the summer sloop. So that's 120,000 solid biofuel. In here, we're going to go from 6 to 8. So that turns it to 160,000 liquid biofuel. And then the liquid is 1-to-1 to the packaged. So if I had not dimensional depoted 600 alien protein, that would be another 160,000. packaged liquid biofuel, which is a little more than 3 containers. So the vast majority of my alien remains went into alien protein into the thing, but that's fine. I wasn't even out there trying to do that because I already had an absolute ton of solid biofuel. We've still got, you know, this is going to kick out some more, but we've still got, you know, 80% of a container. Plus this thing is, I don't know, it's more than half full. And then we've already got, whatever we've got in the dimensional depot, plus 100 here, plus a full container, plus this is more than halfway. So yeah, we've got a huge amount. I wasn't even out trying to collect. I wasn't killing things to try to make liquid biofuel. And yeah, the majority of it went into that, but that's fine. The next time I go out and I, you know, bring a bunch of stuff back, it's going to all go in. So we've got more than enough storage space. I'm happy with that. We got way more power shards than I need. If I mess up, you know, that'll go here. I've still got a little more room. This is just kind of my, like, you know, process the things, I guess, area. So, well, I'm pretty happy with that. What are we going to do next? Oh, I do need to go and add a couple more dimensional depots to concrete and steel. Let me go do that. And just as a reminder, we're making 240 concrete, 240 concrete. So we're making 480. So I can actually go upstairs. I'll leave these as 2 separate belts, but upstairs on the logistics floor, I can combine them together into one 480 belt, which will be much simpler. Yeah, so right now we've got 2 belts of concrete. The first one is coming in and going through into the storage and dimensional depot and then feeding out onto this belt. This one is just going here. So what I actually want to do, I don't want this second belt. I actually want this to feed in to here, because then it'll all go into this. Because right now only half of our concrete feeds into this dimensional depot. Oh. Yeah, it might be simpler downstairs to take that belt and bring it over and combine it to this one. Give me a minute. All right, the simplest thing to do is just actually do it right here, right on the logistics floor. So I just bring it up. I put some supports in hanging down from the ceiling. And there we go. So both the 240 runs, and I made them Mark 4s up here. I'll go downstairs and make them Mark 4s because each machine does have 500 in it. So you kind of don't, you do want like a 480 belt because you can empty the machines out. But so the 480 belt runs through and yeah, it glitches through that. I never fix that. But we come down into here and I believe I've got everything upgraded. That's a 4. This is a 4. This splitter was to split off and send stuff to an awesome sink, which we never did. So then that container's full. It feeds up to this container, which feeds up to the depot. Then it comes out on the priority merger, and then it's Mark IV all the way down, all the way up, all the way around, and all the way back. I got rid of the second belt. And what's coming back has holes in it because that's what got used upstairs. So, yeah, I want another dimensional depot on this. I'd actually like more storage containers, to be honest. All right, I think I got a plan here. So originally there was a lift that went out and went to this. So all the concrete was coming into here. Some of it was going up into this one, in this small container, and then up into the depot. And then the rest of it was coming out onto the belt. And the reason I did that, I didn't want to connect this directly to a depot because if I did, if this started taking a bunch, nothing would go to the depot, right? Like I wanted, this is just for the depot. So I've got 2 more big ones. I'm going to take this, connect this here. Actually down here, I'm going to connect it at the bottom. So that's going to fill those. I can take a depot, put it there, put it there, and take a lift. I can do that. I can do that. I'm actually going to go ahead and unlock the Mark V belts. We can't make very many, but there's a couple spots where I could use it.
Milestone reached. Fixit dedicated this milestone to
Yeah,
the
and I need to
conveyor
get
belt
copper.
and lift Mark V. They may be implying that your factory could be further optimized. While they are correct, I believe they are setting unreasonable expectations. Having all of humanity very definitely relying on your work is a lot of pressure. It's a good thing I'm here.
Let's grab a little bit of copper. I'm going to just make some, it's not necessarily at all, but we're making 480 concrete a minute. The belt can haul 480 concrete a minute. We can upload 480, but each one of those constructors has 500 concrete in it, and there's really no way to get it out. And if I just from where the two 480 belts merge until the first like container, if I could do that as a Mark V belt, it would actually empty those out quicker. All right, so right here where the two 480 belts come together, I can take a 5. And yeah, I need to do something about that. Make that a 5. Make that a 5. And make this a 5. Make that a 5. Yeah. So that'll actually pull all that stuff that's built up in all of those constructors, which represents a lot of concrete. And I was kind of thinking about this too, and I could stack 2 more of these, right? I just need to split, because this is a 480 belt and this can only do 240. So I could have this belt feed 2 and then this belt feed 2. I gotta figure out how exactly to put this in here, but I'm going to do that because then I can upload like 1,000 concrete a minute, which I know seems crazy, but when I get these huge blueprints and I just start slapping them down, I can go through more than 500 concrete a minute. And yeah, we're only making that much, but we'll have a bunch of backlog between these 3 containers plus all the constructors downstairs. Well, it looks a little silly, but I've got a splitter right off the front and then a Mark IV belt feeding it. And then I've got 2 Mark IV lifts going up. One feeds that one and then one feeds that one. And then if I do that same thing here, we'll have we'll be able to upload 1,000 concrete a minute, basically. It would have been better instead of feeding this into that and into that. This should have a splitter and it should feed both of them. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. All right, the steel beams are fixed. I hesitate to say that. I did disconnect. We were sending the access to the awesome sink over here. I just had like 3 things going to the awesome sink, just trying to make me tickets for a long time, but I had to disconnect that. So this is the original steel beam thing. I had to put a splitter there so I could bring beams over and split it and then send it to these 2 storage containers, which each one feeds into a depot. So we're going from 3 depots, or I'm sorry, we're going from 1 depot on the steel beams to 3. And then these 2 have the big storage containers. And yeah, it's only a Mark II belt because we're not making steel beams. We're not even making, that many steel beams, but that should help quite a bit, is what it is. The logistics floor, I like the logistics floor. This, yeah, because I needed faster belts. And I could come through now and, geez, the screws, Mark V belts, I could reduce all this down to like 2 Mark Vs easily. The logistics floor over here works great. This whole setup, if the roof was taller, it wouldn't be as bad. I don't quite have enough space. If I space this out to where these things would fit, it would have reduced the number of belts we could have. So yeah, it was a compromise. I was trying to make it the medium factory and not the large factory. And it turned out to be larger than I expected, but I was just coming up to check on the liquid biofuel and I noticed that the refinery wasn't running because it was full. But this tank was only still about here, which is where it was last time. I remember it being like 1,200 something. So I just added a pump. So I guess this thing can pump out a certain pressure. And whatever that is, whatever its head lift is, it must be to about that level. So it filled this tank to here, but it couldn't fill it anymore. So I put a pump on just to empty this, just to, fill this up so this could keep running, because this way back here was still got like a 12 protein. I did put a Mark V here and here It doesn't really matter because this is full now, but yeah, I know it doesn't matter. I'm just like, oh, I increased that. Yeah, kind of, but not really. There's still all these bottlenecks and it's fine. It's fine. I don't know. I just wanted it to pump up the full tank for no reason. So the next big thing I want to do is start with trains. I was trying to get it started last episode, but that's what I wanted to get started this episode. I wanted to take care of a few things. It's going to require running around the map a lot, because I want to build basically a giant circle around the map. And I would like some better weapons and explosives. So I want to get into the smokeless powder, which takes it takes black powder and heavy oil residue. So I could bring the black powder from the base to here, combine it with heavy oil residue, make the smokeless, but now I got to get the smokeless back to base. So I think it's better to get the heavy oil residue to base. And the thing is, it's a byproduct. So we actually have, as we're making rubber and plastic, we're making heavy oil residue. And we're sending it over to these two refineries, and we're turning it into petroleum coke, and then we're sending the petroleum coke into a sink. So all I need to do is redirect some of it. We're going to have to use a packager, just like we are with the liquid biofuel. So we'll send the heavy oil residue, we'll package it, we'll send it to that truck station, we'll truck it over to base, and then we'll have to have another packager at base to unpackage it and turn it back into a liquid. But that's fine. We could do that upstairs. I want the heavy oil residue to go to that first. That should be top priority. And if that's full, then it'll go to the refineries here and get turned into petroleum coke. All right, so both of these are still empty because they're going to push it out, but it's going to sit in this pipe. It's going to build up in the pipe. It should start to fill that. Yep, and it is. So there's always going to be heavy oil residue sitting in this pipe. It's not going to back those machines up, though, because those machines are going to push it up into here, theoretically. And I don't know that this is exactly 4 meters. That's about 4 meters up. So I know from the other one, it's going to push it up to about halfway. It can't fill the tank any more than that. These two are going to run, though, and they're going to run it back down, right, and make the petroleum coke. So as long as this one, and as soon as it starts to fill up, I guess it's going to run out. Technically, I want this to go up a little more because I always want some sitting in the tank, but that's fine. Can I fit this in here? Looks like the answer is no. All right, we're just going to just put it here then. That's a bit of a bummer. I might need to make that tank taller because I need... And it does work like you think it would. Like if that's lower, it should... Where's my packager? Well, that's a new bug. I have not seen that before. You're going to package heavy oil residue. I could tear it down and see if it fixes it, but I kind of like it being invisible. Oh, there it is. Just hook it up to power and it becomes visible. Yeah, so I need to feed it empty canisters. So we're going to have to take some of our plastic. That should be enough room. We're going to take... This is all temporary. Don't worry. We're going to put a splitter. Oh, I need to get rid of the throughput monitor. Nope. We're going to put a splitter. How many do you make? I think just 30, right? Yeah, let's just use like a Mark 1 belt because I don't really care. Can I hook you up to power somewhere? Yes. All right, so that's going to suck off some of our plastic, which is fine because I have extra plastic at the other base. So we should always still run, extra. And it's not like we're going to be using a ton of the smokeless powder. All right, so that's going to make us our empty canisters. Yeah, now I got to get that. Yeah, let's just go with the Mark III. And you know, I'm okay with stuff like this when it's temporary. The only reason I haven't done this area permanently is just because I want to build a big building over here, but I need it to line up with the train. And I don't know where the train goes yet. Okay, so now you've got heavy oil residue. You've got empty containers. You're making heavy oil. We should make a storage container over here too. Okay, this is set to load. It's hooked up to power. So it would have been nice to put the truck station over here with the oil and the plastic. No, with the plastic and the rubber, but there's not really space to stick another one in. So up here by the crystal one, I probably could have moved the crystal one or something, but I don't want to re-record that path, and I don't want one here and there. So I just extended these foundations farther out this way, and I put this one here. So the truck will be able to circle through and then go back. And I've already got the coal ran to power the truck because, you know, the belt's just right over there, which is feeds all the truck stations, the compacted coal. So downstairs, the belt's going to come up. It's going to come over. It's going to shoot through the floor there. I took this out just so I could go through here. It's going to pop up right in this spot. It's going to come up, and then it's going to come over, and then it's going to go up next to the concrete belt. We're coming up through the floor next to the concrete there. We're going to come over to here. Then we're going to come over to here. And these are on straight, so they should look pretty decent. Go to here. I need to come down onto this. So I got to do that. That one will take a minute, but we're going to come. And the reason I'm going over the black powder, right? Because there's the black powder. What's the other type of black powder stuff, right? It's going to be the smokeless. This isn't the smokeless. This is the stuff that we use to make the smokeless, right? The heavy oil residue. But I'm just going to stick it right above that because it's going to go upstairs. And I had to do it. Like I was saying, it's going to come down through here. It'll go through the lift there. It's going to come down here. Yeah, and it looks a little janky because there's the, you know, the belts have to curve out to get around the storage containers and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, technically that one, technically that's not right, but whatever. And then it's going to swoop around here. Yeah, you can tell I'm just like at that point where it's like, okay, there's some flaws to the design here and we've kind of reached the limit. So we're going to make it work. And we're not going to make it look bad, but it's going to look like they're afterthoughts because these things are literally afterthoughts. I think I have everything upstairs set. I couldn't load the truck for some, I don't know why. Every once in a while, like you'll drive up and it'll say press F to load and you press F and it just doesn't do it. And then the next time it does, I'm going the wrong way. Crap. I'm following the other truck. I need to go that way. I'm going to make a hard turn here. Yeah, I wasn't thinking. Path completed. Okay, I want to save it. Heavy oil. Enable autopilot. So he should, yeah, and he's empty. He'll drive up here. Quote unquote unload, even though there's nothing to unload. On the first logistics floor, it's going to come up next to the concrete. It's going to circle over. It's going to come down, and we're going to put it down over the black powder. That's a little janky, and then it's going to shoot up. That's going to take it up through the next couple floors, all the way up to the second logistics floor. Right here above the black powder, it's going to come all the way down this floor. And remember, this is the heavy oil residue. It's going to go all the way down to here. And then it and the black powder are both going to come up. And I was able to do this because these are short and these things are short. And you can see the black powder is already up here. So they're both going to come up. They're going to come over. They're going to pop up to the top production floor. Up here, the black powder is going to go down to the refinery. The heavy oil is going to come into the packager. It's going to get unpackaged to make liquid heavy oil, and we're going to get empty containers back. That's the, you know, I don't want to say it's bad. It's good, cool, but it's kind of bad. So the heavy oil will come up into this tank, come back over into the refinery. Heavy oil plus that is going to make the smokeless. The smokeless is going to come out, go into this container, and then I've just got a dimensional depot for now so we can start cranking out smokeless. The empty containers are going to pop down through the floor there. It's going to come out here. It's going to run over. It's going to run down. It's going to go onto this belt. It's going to come all the way down here. Down to here. This is a smart splitter. So any is center and overflow is right. So all those empty containers are going to fill this storage container up. When it's full and it backs up, that would stop that machine from unpacking. So the overflow, only when this is full, these are going to go up, they're going to pop through the floor, and there's an awesome sink up there. So then we're just going to throw them away. But all of them are going to go into this container. They're going to come out into a priority merger. And then here's the original empty containers that go up and then go all the way down. And that's for our liquid biofuel. So the priority merger is set high priority left. So right now downstairs, we're wasting plastic, making empty containers and sending them up. Once we start getting empty containers, we'll be able to hold a bunch of them in this storage container. And the priority merger is going to use those until it's completely empty. And then it'll start using these. So it's not going to break even. We're still going to use plastic, but we're going to try to get as much of that plastic back as possible. So now I'm going to go see where the truck is. This should be him. And I'm really hoping, I tried to push it as far over here, but even over here, it gave me the option to unload. So I'm really, oh, this could be the quartz one actually. That's the quartz one. Oh, wait, somebody's going back. Did I miss it? I did. Look, there's heavy oil. Oops. Well, we missed the whole thing. Let's race back upstairs. Nothing's here yet. Makes me think I messed something up. Oil's here. It's not coming out. That little bit's what's the problem? It's because of these, I know what the problem is. It's because I put these hangers there to hang it, and it doesn't always. Yeah, it's connected to the hanger. It's not connected to the lift. There we go. And the down here is where that awesome sink is from downstairs. It's just right there. It just pops up and feeds the awesome sink. So it kind of looks like it's a part of this area, but has nothing to do with it. Okay, heavy oil residue. Getting unpacked. Oh, well, technically it would have to fill this up. This pipe would have to fill up to there to flow through, right? I really like how they modeled liquids because it makes sense, because I can just look at that and be like, well, yeah, the fluid's gonna have to fill up to that point to make it through. And that's literally how it works. There we go. And it's coming in. And we just made some smokeless. All right, that only took like 5 minutes. I think I've got, and I don't really care about the explosive rebar because we're gonna have the rifle soon. So I don't really see myself doing the rebar. So there's that.
Explosive rebar unlocked. Rebar ammo that explodes on impact. Suitable for removal of unwanted obstacles, creatures, or limbs. Cluster Nobelisk unlocked. This type of Nobelisk detonates into multiple smaller explosions. Can be used for clearing large areas of vegetation and other inconveniences.
I feel like I'm going to like that one.
Inconveniences, in this case, is not defined to include persistent family members, raccoons, student debt, the sunrise, peer performance reviews, neighbors learning to play the saxophone, phone calls, or your favorite show getting cancelled. Rifle and rifle ammo unlocked. A long-range weapon and rapid-fire ammunition, only to be used for the defense or acquisition of fixed property. Conveniently, this includes everything of value on this planet.
So I could go down this. We're going to get into fuel eventually. I could do these, like we're throwing the... we have compacted coal downstairs. The fuel I could easily make. We have a few hard drives, but I'm not too worried about that. This one's going to require a bunch of ammo. That one we're not going to get until nuclear stuff, which is going to lock that one. So I need to make some ammo. And then under here, this one, yeah, requires some ammo. So I need to make ammo. I'm going to assume it's going to take more than one thing. Okay, copper sheets and smokeless powder. So if I bring copper sheets up here, I could start making that. And this seems like a good spot to do it right here. So ironically, we would probably want the assembler about here. That way I could run the smokeless powder out into it. So I would kind of want the copper sheets. And there's no reason to go back to the beginning since there's not going to be anything back there that needs copper. So I'm like, I put a floor hole here and I pop through and, oh, the copper sheets are right there. So I just have to do this. Oh, did not snap to the right thing. Do this to that. Why does that look funny? Oh, because it's too tall. Okay. Is that it? That's better. Now, I have no idea. I feel like we're kind of not the greatest on copper sheets. Now, this isn't a production that's going to run all the time, right? Like, we're going to make ammo and we're not going to just keep using it. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Actually, hold on. Let me pull up my copper sheets. We have 40 extra a minute. I'm sure this doesn't use that many. No, it's going to use 15. It's going to make 75 ammo. So 10 smokeless powder. Now I crank this thing way up. Yeah, it's making 50. So 500. I'm going to put a merger, no, a splitter there. And this isn't going to do anything for the moment because I think it's still trying to, it's still trying to fill that up because I was close to 500 and then I just used like 300 of it to do that research. So this will take a minute. But we'll go ahead and kind of think and turn this around. I don't want to like use up. I don't think I need this aisleway for anything. Well, if I make other types of ammo, then I would just want this here. Because then we might need to come out of it and make the other types. Get another depot. I don't even have a rifle yet. Nothing too crazy. I'll go ahead and make a couple again just to put in the dimensional depot in case somebody loads my save game. Okay. Don't need that. Get rid of 2 of these. I'll replace my rebar gun with that. I don't have any ammo though. Okay, I made just a couple cluster nobelisks. So here's the real, the normal one, right? Let me kind of get down here. So that's the normal one. Kind of just blows up a little area. So I guess gotta hold down R. I mean, it does expand out. Okay, this might be a good spot here. Because if I throw that, let's say right there. You can kind of see. Let me just go down here. Switch to this one. So I think I threw it about right here. So let's see how much bigger. Didn't really seem to do much. Didn't really seem to do a lot. Looked cool. I'm not as impressed. So I can't find anything online definitive. It's just like, it's bigger. And that's all anything says. It says the regular Nobelisk is 7.5 meters and that the cluster Nobelisk is bigger. But it doesn't, I can't find anything that actually says. If it's bigger, it's not much bigger. I'm kind of disappointed because this whole time, because when I played the game before, there was just the Nobelisk. There weren't different types. And looking online, the nuke one is only like twice a normal one. So I'm guessing the cluster one, if it's bigger, it's not much bigger. And then I don't know, it just doesn't seem worth making. I don't really understand why would I spend more resources to make that and then it doesn't really do that much. So I guess we're not going to be producing that. We have already made like 800 ammo though, so that's nice. Shoots pretty fast too. Obviously I need to go find something outside and shoot at it and see how that compares to the rebar gun, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be better.
Homing rifle ammo unlocked. This ammo can be loaded into a normal rifle and, when fired, will seek a target. Clarification. This does not make the rifle a homing rifle. If you leave the rifle alone, even when loaded with this ammo, it will not return home like a devoted and adorable puppy and/or kitten.
I need to package some fuel. Give me a sec. So just real quick and simple, I can hook this up because this is our heavy oil. I'll send it into this refinery, which can make fuel, which will push it into here, which will package it. I need to get it some empty containers. I don't need much of this, and then I'm going to tear all this back down. So I'll just do that. I need 50 packaged fuel, and I got to run downstairs and grab some compacted coal, and I should have a hard drive. And just as a reminder, we're not doing alternate recipes in this playthrough, except for the alternate recipes that are in the MAM, because I do want rocket fuel. So we should be able to come in here. I think I got everything here. Start research. That gets us Turbofuel. Now we need to make 50 Turbofuel.
Unlocked. This upgrade to regular fuel is optimal for fuel-powered generators, jetpacks, and fulfilling long-distance trucker fantasies.
I don't even have that. How do I make Turbofuel? Compacted coal and fuel. Okay, so I want you to stop doing that. I want you to come out of here. Oops, hello. Well, you're gonna have to come. You're gonna have to give me a little room there, buddy. I should have grabbed more compacted coal. It's okay. I just need 50. Oh, now we're gonna need a packager again, aren't we? Because we're gonna tear all this down in like 5 minutes. Don't worry. Oh, the game just crashed, I think. Pretty sure that's the first crash. Oh, I gotta redo my command to get rid of all the crap floating in the air. That's the first crash since 1.1 went to stable branch. I had like a bunch in experimental, but then a packager. Yeah, I went to put power on this and I went to click and it just, I could tell it just moved And I ended up like going to create a new thing. So that is going to get us Turbofuel. Oh, I have to make aluminum casing as well. All right, that gets us that. So I can tear this down, this down, this down, this, that thing, this, and that. And connect that back up. But I want it on that one.
Turbo rifle ammo unlocked. The pioneer ammo of choice when obstacles are numerous and time is short. Panic and imminent death often negatively affect human accuracy, so this ammo meets the human experience with fixed efficiency.
I kind of thought you would have to unlock both of these. Hey, that'll get us 6 more inventory slots. I like that. All right, so can't do that for quite a while. Need encased cells.
By utilizing numinous gel hydrology channeled through an
this I need these empty fluid tanks.
Some used to say this as impossible, but the meaning of that word has long since
that's
been
a long time away.
Dictionary.
And that's a long time away. So the only thing we could do now is we could do the rocket fuel. We're going to make a rocket fuel factory, so I'm not going to worry about that. So we're pretty much done with research for the moment. And real quick, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to get, because I've got wall outlet Mark III now. We've got the clean pipeline Mark II, floodlight, light control panel, the last thing, and we'll just get the coffee cup.
Official Fix-It coffee cup unlocked. Do not purchase unauthorized Fix-It coffee cups. They have been known to explode and attract wasps. Unauthorized Fix-It coffee cups lower your attractiveness to your preferred gender and/or your sense of well-being if you have no gender attraction or preference. Official Fix-It products can be licensed for your use from official Awesome Shop installations only. Come to the best shop on the planet for the best deals on all official
25.
Fix-It supplies, guaranteed.
So I'm actually super low on Mercer spheres and I'm out of summer sloops again. So I'm going to want to like explore it, but there's a lot of radioactive areas. So, and I looked, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I could make this pretty simply. I just had to make a few more. I did notice though, as I was pulling more aluminum out to kind of get this going again, that
the hazmat suit protects the wearer from radiation.
We are
consuming iodine
out of aluminum ingots.
You may find this protection essential if you are going to finally get around to saving humanity. I previously gave you compliments in an attempt to inspire you, but it might have given you the wrong idea. I will definitely be totally
make a few of these
from this moment on. Here is a demonstration of a truthful compliment. That suit looks like it was made for you. Because it was.
Wait, did I pass it? So this is going to take filters, some quick wire, and some more of those. So I'll go ahead and just manually make these. I want to set up filters, and I want to make the regular filters, and I want to make these filters, and I want to have them in the depot. And we have the recipe to make fabric from plastic. And I actually have it going into my dimensional depot fabric, but I don't have a way to automate it. And I'm not going to set that up right now. But we will eventually automate the filters and stuff. See you guys next time.